Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is David Ganzel, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, and I'm a proud graduate of UMBC. Thank you. Thank you all for being here for one of the year's special events as we induct the class of 2024 into the UMBC Athletics Hall of Fame. And happy homecoming. To give everyone a brief history of our Hall of Fame, the event began in the late 1970s as part of the Spring Varsity Awards banquet. Our former athletic director and 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, Dr. Charles Brown, made the induction ceremony a separate and more formal annual event on the athletic calendar. Nominations were actively solicited, and a committee was formed to make the selections. Today, each of our 17 programs is now represented on the committee, and we are now up to 143 Hall of Fame inductees. To qualify for the UMBC Athletic Hall of Fame, a retriever must demonstrate excellence on the playing field, in the classroom, and beyond. For our athletes who have competed in conference competitions, all conference honors play a significant role in their candidacy. Barring extraordinary circumstances, successful candidates must have earned their bachelor's degree from UMBC. If you are a member of our Hall of Fame, would you please stand right now and be recognized? Thanks for coming back. I would also like to acknowledge the work of our committee. This cycle, we had many, many high-quality nominations. The committee takes its mission very seriously, and tonight we see the fruits of its labor. I would like to recognize the committee members who may or may not be in attendance tonight. We thank Pete Coringi Jr., Haley Carter, Karen Woodard, and Kathy Zerlot are here. Would you please stand if you are in attendance? KZ is here. Thank you for your hard work. To kick off tonight's festivities, I'm thrilled to introduce our biggest supporter, someone who loves to come out and cheer on her retrievers, UMBC's sixth president, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby.
Oh, we can do better than that. Good evening. Yes, this is a beautiful evening. I told Seth I'm going to need him to walk with me like that around campus. I like to be escorted. That was a good thing. I felt good about that. So welcome to you. I am delighted to be here to celebrate all of our inductees and award winner this evening. What a privilege it is to celebrate you and all of the work that you did while you were student athletes here at UMBC. You really represent the best of our students, not just our student athletes, and our alums. So we are just delighted to celebrate each one of you this evening. I'd like to take an opportunity to also acknowledge those who've come to celebrate with the awardees. So if you are a family member or a friend of an awardee, would you please stand so that we can also acknowledge you this evening? Oh, I love it. I think that was a proud parent probably standing on a chair down front. I can so appreciate that. My mother would have been on the stage, so I so appreciate that. And we will have an opportunity to hear from our awardees and hear about them later today, so later in the evening, so I won't take the opportunity to call them out, but congratulations to each one of you. I also want to say just a word about athletics and our student athletes. It is such an important part of the entire university. And I just want to keep saying that. Athletics is not an appendage, it's not an addendum. It is core to our mission and our vision and our values for all of our students at the university. It creates a wonderful spirit on our campus, and our athletes are really the best of our students. They are researchers, they are scholars, they are teaching assistants, they are entrepreneurs. Thursdays, I have student office hours. And last Thursday, I had a student athlete come in my office and pitch his new business. He already has 8 employees, and I have a feeling that he's creating batteries to produce more energy in remote areas. I have a feeling that his technology might save us. And so I was just so impressed, but I just thought, that's just a student. That's a student athlete who happens to be incredibly competitive in his sport, but also a really strong intellectual student who's fully engaged in our community and is a leader on our campus. So all of you that we are celebrating tonight represent that, and I am so proud that UMBC has athletics that really focuses on student athletes. That's not every university, and so I'm very proud of that. And that is going to be central to what we do in our future. And speaking of our future, I have the opportunity to introduce you to our leader, our new Director of Athletics, of Physical Education and Recreation, Tiffany Tucker. Don't get up yet, Tiffany. She knows I'm going to say more than that about her. So Tiffany is our 6th athletic director at UMBC. I'm delighted to have hired her, Tiffany, 61 days ago. I believe you might be on day 61, 62, somewhere in there. She is an extraordinary leader, and I'm so excited about her for our future. She is a student athlete. She was a student athlete. She's always a student athlete. I'm going to have you guess which sport she played in a moment. You might be wrong. She played 2. She's also served as a head coach, and she's also served in administration and leadership in athletics. The last thing I'll say about Tiffany is I've recently been working a lot with America East, which is our conference, and with the NCAA around all things changing in college athletics. There is no place that I go that somebody doesn't tell me that I made a great hire. Somebody tells me she's an incredible leader, full of integrity, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do at UMBC. So with that, I welcome Tiffany Tucker.
All right, I'll give you one guess. What sport? There we go. What's that, table 6? Free drinks on me, table 6. Tonight is a great night to be a retriever. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. Thank you for being here. Tonight, as we celebrate the remarkable achievements of our Hall of Fame inductees and award winner, I would like to begin by acknowledging our dynamic, awesome, phenomenal president, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby. Thank you. And I also would like to acknowledge our senior vice president and provost, Dr. Manfred Van Doolman, and his wife, Jennifer. Thank you also for being here. Oh, stand up, let them see you. There you go. Clap it up for our provost. Your leadership is consistent. Your support for UMBC athletics is invaluable, and we are so grateful to have you. You continue to show up for our department and our student athletes, and it does not go unnoticed, and I say thank you on behalf of our team. As I reflect on my first 2 months here at UMBC, I feel a profound sense of pride, but more importantly, a deep sense of responsibility. Give me a moment to brag on my student athletes, my favorite part of this job. Our student athletes have not only excelled in competition, but also in the classroom. With a collective GPA of 3.35 last semester, 75% of our teams earned America East All Academic Team honors. This balance between academic and athletic success is the very core of what we stand for here at UMBC. On the field, our men's lacrosse program won UMBC's first national title as they captured the NCAA Division II championship. Yeah. Our men's soccer team has achieved incredible success, including their historic run to the NCAA Final Four in 2014. Our men's basketball team made history by defeating UVA as a number 16 seed. All of these are feats that reminded the world that anything is possible for UMBC. And our women's teams, led by our dominant softball and volleyball programs, have become powerhouses, earning 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 America East titles, representing us on the national stage in the NCAA tournaments. But what's most inspiring about these programs is the grit, heart, and unity that defines our Retrievers. It's not just about the trophies or the championships, but it's about the way we show up every single day on the field, in the classroom, and most importantly, in our community. That spirit is what makes UMBC truly special. It's a place where we believe in each other and where the impossible becomes possible through work, hard work, and belief. To our alumni, donors, supporters, you are the backbone of this program. Your commitment and generosity allows us to build something truly extraordinary. But tonight I ask you to dream with us, to invest in us, invest in our future of our student athletes, because the best is yet to come. Together, we can create a legacy that transcends wins and losses, a legacy that shapes leaders, champions, and difference makers. To our inductees, tonight is about you. I talked to Liam earlier, and I'm off script. I talked to Liam earlier, and he said, it hit me just about an hour ago. And all I could say to him, I remember the moment when I had this opportunity. Live in that moment. Let your friends love on you. Let us love on you. You deserve this moment. Live in it. Tonight will be an incredible night to celebrate what you have left behind. The foundation you have built for this program throughout your dedication and your achievements and your love for UMBC is what has paved the way for future generations. You have set the bar high, and in doing so, you have shown our current student athletes what is possible when you commit to excellence. Your legacy is more than just your individual accomplishments. It's about the lives that you have impacted, the inspiration you provided, and the path that you have cleared for those who will come after you. You have created a ripple effect where the example you've set will continue to echo through this university, motivating our current and future Retrievers to follow in your footsteps and to blaze new trails of their own. Tonight, we celebrate your contributions, knowing that your influence will be felt for years to come. As your director of athletics, I want you to know that I am committed to leading with integrity, passion, and relentless drive to make UMBC the gold, black and gold, red and white, the gold standard of the America East Conference and beyond. I believe in our leadership. And I say that again, I believe in our leadership. I believe in our potential. I believe in the power of this community. And I believe in what we can achieve when we come together. In closing, none of this would be possible without our incredible coaches, athletic staff, and alumni in our entire UMBC community. And I ask at this moment to all of my awesome rock star staff, please stand so we can clap for you too. Thank you so much for being here. My staff, are y'all at the back? There we go. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to give a special thank you to the Office of the President, Institutional Advancement, Event and Conference Services. Danielle, thank you so much. The Alumni Board, New Media Studio, and Common Vision for making tonight's celebration a reality. And I also would like to thank our awesome Chartwell's team for being here as well. To our inductees, your legacy inspires us. And to everyone here, thank you for your belief in UMBC athletics. This is only just the beginning of an incredible journey. With your continued support, we will rise to new heights. As a woman who's 6'5", for any of you we will rise to new heights. Yes. Let's continue to build something truly extraordinary. Let's keep making history. Thank you and enjoy this incredible night. Happy homecoming. And as always, it's always a good day to be a Retriever. Thank you all so much.
So as a man who is not 6'5", I'm going to have to move the mic down a little bit. So without further ado, it's time to induct some new UMBC Hall of Famers. For your information, we're going to induct 3 Hall of Famers, pause for dinner for about 25 minutes, and then we'll return with the remainder of the program. Presenting for our first inductee, Carly Cassidy, I would like to welcome Chelsea Barker Walsh to the stage. Chelsea was a 4-year letter winner with the Retrievers from 2007 through 2011. During her time with the program, UMBC earned an America East regular season title and made its first ever trip to the WNIT. She also served as UMBC's assistant coach from 2015 through 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Barker Walsh.
Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow UMBC Retrievers. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather to induct one of our own into the prestigious UMBC Athletics Hall of Fame. We come together to honor a remarkable athlete whose contributions to the women's basketball program continue to resonate in the hearts of Retriever fans and within the records of our university's history. I'm deeply honored to speak about a true legend of the game, Carly Cassidy. From 2006 to 2010, Carly graced our basketball courts with her exceptional talent, and her legacy remains deeply embedded in our memories. Her on-court achievements are nothing short of extraordinary. Carly ranks second all-time in program history with an astounding 1,627 points, 347 free throws made, and she still holds the school's record for three-pointers, a remarkable 248 in total. These records are not just statistics. They're testaments to her unparalleled skill and dedication to her craft. One unforgettable moment in Carly's career was during the 2007 America East Conference Championships. She earned a well-deserved spot on the all-tournament team after a stellar performance, scoring a team-best 14 points that helped UMBC achieve the seemingly impossible, stunning the top-seeded and defending champions, Hartford, in the championship game. Carly's leadership and clutch plays were instrumental in that historic victory, a moment that will forever be etched in UMBC basketball history. Carly's impact, however, extended beyond the record books. She was a pioneer, setting new standards for excellence on and off the court. Carly earned America East All-Conference honors not once, not twice, but 3 times, becoming the first women's basketball student-athlete to achieve this remarkable feat at UMBC. Her dedication, work ethic, and unwavering commitment to her team and the sport were evident every time she stepped onto the court. Among the countless memorable moments that define her remarkable career, there's one particular story that perfectly encapsulates her spirit and camaraderie that bonded our team. During her sophomore year, she set out to conquer the elusive 7-minute mile. Yes, we had to run the mile every morning until we hit that 7-minute mark. I won't share how many times Carly ran the mile. 7:01, 7:02, 7:03, Carly crosses the finish line. Just a few seconds after 7 minutes. Our assistant coaches were about to announce that she didn't quite make it, but before they could utter a word, the thunderous roar of our team's cheers drowned out any doubt. Our collective enthusiasm and celebration left no room for disagreement, leaving our assistant coaches no choice but to embrace the moment. Not only did she make the 7-minute mile that day, but she etched her name into our hearts as the athlete who could turn seconds into cheers and challenges into triumphs. As we gather here today, we celebrate not only a remarkable basketball player, but also a great friend, teammate, and an exceptional human being. Carly's legacy will forever inspire future generations of retrievers to dream big and leave their mark just as she has. Today, we pay tribute to her impact and contributions to the sport, as well as the countless lives that she's touched along the way. It is my honor to induct Carly Cassidy into the UMBC Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Chelsea, for that kind introduction. It means so much to me that you and your beautiful wife, Kiara, are here tonight. Thank you for being here this evening. And this is off script also, but one of my coaches is here that we convinced that I did, in fact, make the mile. So I'm sorry about that, Coach Roche. I promise, my freshman year I was well under 7. I don't know what happened moving forward. But I'd also like to personally thank the rest of my teammates that are here tonight. I'm fortunate to have a few of my friends join us and teammates. So Morgan, Aaron, Michelle, and Tope, thank you so much for being here. This evening is a testament to your incredible talent as players and your unwavering support as teammates. I feel so blessed to have worn the black and gold with each and every one of you. My 2 little girls, 2 daughters, 6 and 4, they couldn't be here tonight because I'm actually headed to New Jersey to be the maid of honor in one of our teammates' weddings. busy weekend. But it's been so fun to share with them. Cassidy, 6, who's starting basketball in a couple of weeks, is thrilled. So Coach Hill, be ready in about 10 years. She's coming for you. As some of you may know, I was supposed to be here last year and be inducted with last year's class, but just a few days before the ceremony, my brother Patrick, just 36 years old, succumbed to his battle of cancer for 10 months he fought. So I just want to recognize and acknowledge him. And although he's not able to be here tonight, I know how incredibly proud he was of this accomplishment. So I just wanted to personally thank everyone who allowed for me to be here this year and celebrate with you guys. It really means a lot to my entire family. I also wanted to thank everyone who nominated me and voted for me, because my new fiance, Chris, has actually started to believe that I was pretty good at basketball. This spring marks 15 years since I graduated from this beautiful university. It's hard to believe. And I'm so honored to be recognized for my time here. I remember sitting in this very room during welcome week of my freshman year with no idea of what was to come. By March, as the 7th seed of you guys heard, we upset the number 2 seed, then the number 3 seed, then the number 1 seed to win the American East Tournament as the number 7 seed and go on to play UConn on national television in the NCAA tournament. I had no idea that that's how my freshman career would start. Over my 4 years, we won some games and we lost some too, but through all the wins and losses, we made memories that we would cherish forever, both on and off the court. Life on the loop, as we called it. These days, I usually only lace up my sneakers to play one-on-one with my nephews who are sitting up front. They still can't beat me yet, but I know their time is coming. For now, I still talk a little trash to them, and tonight has given me plenty of material, so I thank you for that. My oldest nephew, Charlie, couldn't be here, but I'm sure Colton and Cruz will let him know how amazing today has been. I want to thank Coach Hill and her staff for allowing us to attend practice, touring us, and sharing the day with us. I also wanted to thank my brother Chuck and his wife Elisa for bringing the boys down from Syracuse. Chuck is the one who got me into basketball, making me stand in the driveway for hours rebounding for him. He's 8 years older than me. Somehow my 10 shots to his 50 paid off more than his did. I love you, bro, and I wouldn't be up here without you, and you know that. Thank you to my mom and dad. My dad is a high school football coach who, it's game day, so he's a coach, so that's where he is tonight, a true coach at heart. But I wanted to thank my mom for being here, all the miles you put on the car and the weekends spent in gym so I could fulfill my dreams. As I reflected on what I wanted to say tonight, one theme kept coming to mind: time. Time spent working out, traveling to games, at practice, in study hall, in class, and how quickly those 4 years flew by. If my brother's Patrick's battle taught me anything, it's that time is our most valuable asset, because once it's gone, we simply can't get it back. The value of time depends on how you spend it, and I'm grateful that I wouldn't change a thing about the 4 years we spent together. The memories we created and the bonds we formed will last a lifetime. I'm so thankful for my time at UMBC. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of my journey. I'm humbled and grateful, and this honor will stay with me forever. Go Ducks.
Presenting our next inductee, Jeremy Blevins, is UMBC. Round of applause. The UMBC and National Lacrosse Hall of Fame coach, Don Zimmerman. Coach Zimmerman led UMBC to unprecedented heights in men's lacrosse. During Coach Zim's tenure, the Retrievers appeared in 6 NCAA Division I tournaments, including the program's lone appearance in the NCAA Division I quarterfinals in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Zimmerman.
Good evening. In the game of lacrosse, the goalkeeper position is by far the most challenging. It requires dexterity, focused intelligence, leadership, confidence, and courage. There are 3 levels of goalkeepers. An average goalkeeper makes the save that should be made. A good goalkeeper makes those saves and a few that could easily have been goals. A great goalkeeper makes all of those saves plus some spectacular saves. Shots that everyone expects to go in. Incredible saves that boost their teammates' energy while deflating the opponent's confidence and willpower. Saves that not only change the momentum of the game, but indeed the outcome. Jeremy Blevins was a great goalkeeper for UMBC. Off the field, Blev was a happy-go-lucky guy. I can still hear him say, "Hey, how's it going?" But on the field, he was all business. He was his toughest critic. Jeremy hated to lose more than he loved to win. He led by example. He came to every practice ready to compete, whether it be playing the game or conditioning. Speaking of conditioning, there was one preseason incident when our guys had a little get-together during the week. This did not comply with the team rules. Learning of this, our staff felt compelled to have an unannounced team meeting that took place at 6 a.m. in the UMBC Stadium complex. We believed in nipping things in the bud for many reasons, one of which was to beat Kathy Zerlot, UMBC's senior women's administrator and compliance officer, to the punch, as we fully expected her to call later that morning. KZ had a knack of knowing things before they even occurred. Love you, KZ, and thanks for everything you did for us. So anyhow, 6 a.m., we're the coaches there at 5:30, trying to wake up ourselves. The guy starts to report down. And back then, it was still chilly, and we always gave the guys sweats, and they wore the sweats everywhere. They wore them to class. You know, they loved those sweats. And so you hear the cars driving down to the stadium complex, and they're rolling in, and the guys are coming out, and they're still half asleep, and they got all their sweats on, and they go in the locker room to put on their running shoes and all that kind of stuff. And they came outside, and we immediately told them one word, and it's a beautiful word: end line. And the end line means get on the end line, there's a good chance you're going to run. So I see the team out there, and look, these were a good group of guys, but, you know, they broke the rules, and we felt like we had to do something. We missed them, too, so we figured we'd see them early that day. And I said, listen, you know, you guys broke the rules, and you really don't deserve to wear any UMBC gear. So you got 2 minutes to go into the locker room and change, but you cannot wear one item of UMBC-issued gear. And they scramble in, and they start coming out. And I tell you, I wish I had a camera back then. Back to the end line. And they talk about a ragtag group. I mean, they had everything on. And, you know, just told them again, remind them that they shouldn't do that. And we started to run. And one of the things we did is we used to run around the track, and as a unit. They weren't racing one another. I wanted them to stay together as a team. You know, they broke the rules as a team. They're going to condition as a team. So they're running. And I did notice that Jeremy, our honoree tonight, he particularly had an interesting outfit on. He had a flannel shirt, boxers, and he had Timberland boots. And I can still see it. And he wasn't the only one, but he stood out, you know. So our captains were leading us around, and another captain's here tonight is Alex Hopman. Hoppy was there, and guys were running, and you could hear the beauty of this run is they never get out of your sight, and they never get out of your hearing range. And I hear this clop, 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 clop every time they came around. And it was Jeremy in his Timberlands. And what's interesting is, Jeremy's a goalkeeper, and goalkeepers, running isn't their forte. They like to just sit in that goal, and that's enough when they're played, believe me. But, they got to run. So Jeremy's clopping out there. And Alex, who was a midfielder, and midfielders are supposed to run, I'm telling you, he is doing everything he can to stay ahead of Jeremy. Jeremy is a competitive man, and he didn't want to be outdone by the other captain. So he's clop, and then I look at Hoppy, and he's got some Cordovan penny loafers on. I'm thinking, man, he should be tearing Jeremy apart. But Jeremy stayed right with him. So it was a good practice. We let him go, and we had a great year. But I just remember that. We call that boxers and boots today. The 4 years prior to Jeremy walking onto the UMBC campus, the Retrievers went 25-29. After earning the starting position his freshman year, the Retrievers never looked back, going 45-19. That's an amazing turnaround. And listen, Jeremy was surrounded by a talented group of teammates, for sure, no doubt about it. We had good players. With that said, Jeremy was the missing link that we needed, and the linchpin for UMBC winning 3 America East titles and making the NCAA tournament in 4 straight years. Highlighted by a first-round upset of Maryland in College Park, propelling the Retrievers to the NCAA quarterfinals for the first time ever. Jeremy received All-America honors in both his junior and senior years, as well as first-team America East. He was America East Rookie of the Year as a freshman. Quite impressive, indeed. More impressive is the man that Jeremy Blevins has become over these past 15 years. Jeremy and his family were always close. His mom, Patsy, was his most loyal and avid fan. I can still hear her cheering from the stands. And mind you, we had a lot of people in the stands, but you could hear Patsy, all right? So glad you're here, Patsy, and congratulations to you. And today, Jeremy has continued to be a loyal and dedicated family man to his wife, Jess, her son, Cam, and their 6-month-old daughter, Kendall. In speaking with his former teammates, words used to describe Blev include one of the best friends a person could ask for and a loyal friend for life, steady as a rock. A great goalkeeper, a better man, that's Jeremy Blevins. So it is an honor and privilege to present Jeremy Blevins into the UMBC Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's my turn. Carly, you did a great job. Coach Zim, thank you. First off, I'd like to congratulate the 2024 Hall of Fame class. It's been an honor to be inducted with all you guys. Can you guys hear me? I know I'm a little short. And honestly, if it was a Hall of Fame for giving speeches, I probably wouldn't be up here. So just bear with me, guys. So Drew Westervelt was the guy who actually told me I was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. That was probably, I don't know, let's say 8 months ago. Caught me a little off guard. I mean, lacrosse really hasn't been a huge part of my life anymore. I mean, kind of life goes by. You have kids, you get married. But nonetheless, I mean, I still watch lacrosse. I love the game. And I've been excited to actually have this day come. One of the things is I get to see a bunch of my buddies who I haven't seen in a long time. And I appreciate you guys all coming out. It does mean a lot to me. And hopefully we'll get some drinks here after this thing's done. So once I got the message that I was getting inducted, obviously I had to figure out who's going to induct me, and that wasn't really a hard decision. Obviously, it's Coach Zim. He's a Hall of Famer. He's won 3 national championships. He's won Coach of the Year awards. I mean, he's probably won damn near everything you can win as a coach. He didn't win that as a player, because I know that because he would shoot some wrist shots on me as I was getting warmed up. I mean, I think Coach Rocco had a harder shot than you did. But nonetheless, I love Coach Zim, honestly. And one of the things that brought me to UMBC was knowing that I'm going to be able to play for a Hall of Fame coach. And that's one of the things that brought me there, but it's not one of the things that kind of kept me there. Coach Zim, he cares about his guys, and honestly, he wants you to be a good person. And I feel like one of the reasons I'm the way I am today is because of him. I see him at guys' weddings. I see him at other events, and when you see him, he's always around a bunch of guys he's either coached or is known. It's really a testament to kind of who he is. He's a guy that obviously wants you to do well on the lacrosse field, but he's a guy that wants you to do better in life. And honestly, I appreciate you, Coach. And again, I love you. Next thing, and again, when Coach is in, when I asked him to induct me, he's like, because I was real worried about the speech. Again, I'm not a speech guy, but he's like, basically all you need to do is thank everyone who's been involved in your career. So, one, I want to thank Jess, my wife. I didn't know her then, but I've got to throw it out there. Love you, Cam, I love you too. Kendall's not here, but first and foremost, Mom and Dad. I love you guys. Thank you. I mean, me being a parent, I know how tough it is to take them to practices, sit there during practice, especially when it's 2 degrees out. And honestly, I couldn't be more blessed to have you two as parents. You've done everything that I would want to do as a parent, and I really cannot thank you guys enough for everything you've done for me. To Sid and Phil, I love you guys. You know, growing up, it's weird now because you have kids, they play games now, and it's like they don't play to win. Whenever we play, we play to win. It doesn't matter if you're playing soccer, it doesn't matter if you're playing lacrosse, it doesn't matter if you're playing basketball. And again, I'm 5'6" on a good day, so I'm not a very good basketball player, but I remember growing up, anything that we played, it was competitive. We played to win. A lot of time it ended up in fights, but I mean, the biggest thing I can thank you guys for is just being you. You guys have been my biggest support through everything, and I just want to say thank you guys, and I love you. To all my former coaches, starting with Coach Kelly at Cowart Hall. he did a lot for me and my family. He kind of was the first one to show you that to be the best, you got to practice the best. So instead of just going off of natural ability or whatever you want to call it, he kind of let you know you need to work for it. And if you want to be the best, you got to work for it. So I want to thank him for being that guy. And then to Coach Mack, my first goalie coach. I remember waking up early in high school, and then we'd have this little like brick room down in the pool at Coward Hall. It was weird. Let's just say that. And we'd go down there, and I would just take shots, and I'd work on. He's really the first guy that taught me goalie technique. And we'd go down there. We'd spend hours, and I'd go there a couple times a week. Because again, at Coward Hall, when I showed up, I mean, I wanted to play. Did I think I was going to play? Maybe. But I knew there was guys in front of me that had been there. They're also good, but it's just as you get older, you kind of appreciate those things. Especially, I mean, these guys don't get paid to do that either. It's their own free time. And I know when I graduated college, I tried doing the volunteer assistant coaching thing. Didn't work out. So, and again, when you do stuff like that, you realize how much time and effort it really is. So I wanted to thank him. And then to my goalie coaches at UMBC, Coach Rocco and Coach Flanagan. They were awesome. I don't know if you guys have met Coach Rocco. He walks around like this. But honestly, both of them were volunteer assistant coaches. And again, when you're in college, you're practicing every day, and they'd show up every single day. Loved being there, taught me a lot, made it fun. So I just want to say thank you to them as well. And also, I wanted to say thank you to the other goalies on my team. As a goalie, there's only one player that plays. And when I showed up to UMBC as a freshman, I thought there was a good chance I'd play, but there's two other goalies. One transferred in from Essex, who won a national championship, and then we also had a goalie there, Dave Coker, who was the next guy up. And, there's a lot of competition my freshman year, but to be honest with you, it was Billy Sadler and Dave Coker. I ended up winning the winning spot, or the starting spot. And there's two ways those guys could go. It could either be kind of crappy or really good. And I know Dave's here today. And honestly, I cannot thank you enough, man. He was my biggest supporter when I was playing. Always supported me, literally just, and he'd be like a good friend of mine too. I could sit there, talk to him, joke around with him. I remember my freshman year, the first thing in the locker room, not going to repeat what happened, but it's kind of an icebreaker. But I do want to thank you, seriously. It means a lot that you're here tonight, and everything you've done for me, man, I can't thank you enough. And then lastly, to my friends that showed up, thank you guys. When I showed up to UMBC, first off, I didn't really think I was going to go to UMBC. I thought I was going to Towson. I have a twin brother that me and him are going to go to Towson, and it didn't work out, so I was kind of scrambling last minute to go there, and met Coach Zim, was like, all right, obviously I'm going here. But when I showed up, UMBC's not, I was kind of, again, I like to go out and have a good time. UMBC wasn't really known for that. So I show up my freshman year, and I had no idea what to expect from some of these guys. Mike Birch was my freshman roommate. Still, I played golf with him this morning. He beat me, but I won money off of him. But again, when I walked in there, didn't know what to expect. And I walk in and we're sitting there talking. And at that time we had suite mates too. So it was Brian Schneider and John Eckert at the time. So we're sitting there having a good time. Like, these guys are cool dudes. It seemed like it'll be all right. And then Sheeb's like, hey, I brought a bottle of Cuervo. You guys want some? I'm like, yes! Yes! Let's do this. But honestly, it's more than just having a good time with these guys. You do everything together. You go, you work out together, you practice together, you eat lunch together, you eat dinner together, you do damn near everything together. And I mean, you guys are like family to me. I love that you guys came out tonight. And I mean, most of them I still hang out with as much as I can. It's a little difficult now since we all have families, some bigger than others. But honestly, guys, I appreciate everything you've done for me. And, I mean, I'll never forget just our years together. And I appreciate everything. So honestly, to kind of sum up everything, I want to thank, and I'm sure I missed a ton of people in thanking, but anyone that's ever been involved with my lacrosse career, I want to thank all of you guys. I appreciate you, and I love you.
Okay, so our last presentation before we take a break for dinner, Wayne Miller will present our next inductee, Amanda Fiefel. Wayne joined the UMBC softball staff as an assistant coach in October 2006 and coached the Retrievers through 2009. During his tenure, Miller was instrumental in turning the UMBC softball program around by ensuring that the Retrievers made the America East Conference Championship all 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Miller.
I'll try to be quick. I think Amanda and I are the last remaining group before something to eat. Well, I probably should move quickly. Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Miller. I was an assistant softball coach here at UMBC from 2006 to 2009. And although I feel unworthy, it truly is an honor to be asked to introduce UMBC's Hall of Fame inductee, Amanda Fiefel. First, I'd like to congratulate all of the Hall of Fame inductees tonight, and I would be remiss in failing to thank the UMBC Hall of Fame committee, to include everyone who helped bring us all together tonight for this esteemed ceremony. Thank you all very much. Amanda Fiefel. A quick Google search within the UMBC softball website, you'll find her name mentioned all over the UMBC record books. And to this day, she still holds many of UMBC's records. To gain perspective, I'll mention just a few of Amanda's honors. America East All-Rookie Team, America East All-Academic Team 4 times. America East First Team All-Selection 4 times. 3 times selected America East All-Tournament Team. NFCA All-Region Team Selection 4 times. twice selected ECAC All-Star First Team, twice selected as Team Most Valuable Player. In 2009, Amanda was the UMBC Female Athlete of the Year. In 2010, she was named UMBC Senior Athlete of the Year. Amanda still holds the record for most home runs in a career, in her career, and actually most home runs in UMBC history. 43, I believe, her total in her career. She was at least number 2 up to number 10, career topped in the following categories. Total hits, she was 7th. Total bases, she was 2nd. Extra bases, she was 4th. RBIs, she was 4th. Slugging percentage, she was 5. And her senior year, she garnered, Amanda, I just threw this in there. She garnered the most walks. Why? No one would pitch to her. From the pitching circle, Amanda was career top 10 in career wins, appearances, saves, strikeouts, winning percentage. Following her UMBC collegiate career, she was recruited to play professionally. Obviously, Amanda's accomplishments are the primary reason why she's here tonight, and characteristically, we always provide team or UMBC observations. However, I thought I'd add a different perspective. I reached out to a few America East coaches who coached against her, and I asked them to describe Amanda during her 4 years of play at UMBC. I'll pause here. Amanda's probably thinking OMG with an exclamation point. The comments, she owned the plate and she owned us for 4 years. One of my favorite 5-tool athletes. One of the best pure hitters I have ever seen. Her love and respect for the game is her greatest passion. The second and main reason for my attendance tonight is not Amanda's athletic ability. I'm here because of the person Amanda has always been. Whether attending UMBC softball camps as a high school hopeful or now as an adult with 14 years of coaching, where she leads, mentors young female student athletes who are following in her footsteps in the state of New Mexico. Amanda, you truly are living what you love by developing champions in athletics, academics, and life, while at the same time building community-wide traditions and pride. Congratulations to the 2024 Softball Hall of Fame inductee, Amanda Fiefel.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to say congratulations to all the inductees and their families who are being honored tonight. Thank you to the athletic department, President Asprey, for having this, and obviously everyone that's here making it possible. Coach Wayne, thank you for the extraordinary words and making me sound like a great player. But I can honestly say I'd be less nervous hitting in the bottom of the seventh with the game on the line than up here giving this speech right now. But where do I begin other than it's good to be home, literally? This is where my collegiate softball journey began 18 years ago. And I'm so blessed by the opportunity to now be amongst so many phenomenal individuals in the UMBC Athletic Hall of Fame. While I started to reminisce of my time here at UMBC, I couldn't help but think that this moment truly feels fitting to be honored tonight with Carly Cassidy. Carly and I both graduated together and ended our playing careers at UMBC, being named actually co-senior Female Athletes of the Year in 2010. But if I would have told you at the start of it all that I'd be acknowledged with softball alumni greats such as Lisa Boone, Melanie Dennis-Chuck, Christy Pickerel, Dina Vecchio, Amy Wolf, I would have thought you were lying. Being a member of the local community, I grew up watching these athletes of whom I just named change the face of UMBC softball. Growing up as a kid, I can still remember attending every softball camp and every weekend home series knowing that I wanted to do the same. At a young age, I gravitated towards the game of softball due to my father. The game was never forced on me, rather something I excelled in quickly. Always playing up in age and never being afraid of a challenge, I started to play competitive travel at the age of 8. I can still remember the early mornings, long road trips, evenings at the ballpark under the lights, hitting lessons, pitching lessons, and all the individuals who soon became family. Once I became a little older and the recruiting process started to take place, I can still recall many phone calls with the coaching staff here at UMBC. I can still remember Joe French saying, "Hey, slugger, you doing? How you doing? You ready to be in black and gold?" And if any of you know Joe French, he's a short little Italian man, thick New York accent, sometimes very hard to understand, but those words always came out of his mouth. But those calls never got old. The coaching staff stayed true to checking in on me and wanting an update every weekend, secretly, I think, to kind of see what other teams were in the pot as far as where I was being recruited. But those calls never got old. During my official visit, things started to fall into place for me, and I knew this was where I was meant to be and was welcomed as a retriever with open arms. The coaching staff valued and appreciated not only who I was as an athlete, but who I was as a person. I'm so blessed for the opportunities I was given here at UMBC as a student athlete and how they've changed the trajectory of my life. Now leading a program of my own and coaching collegiately for 14 years, I continue to provide my athletes with the same experiences and opportunities to set them up for life, just as UMBC did for me. There are several people in this room tonight, and some who are not, who have played an instrumental part in me becoming not only the player I was, but the person I am today. Coach French, thank you for making me a retriever and for allowing me to receive my education. I know it wasn't an easy road getting me here, but no matter what, I knew that I wanted to be close to home and somewhere I wanted to make an impact, and you gave me just that. Coach Wayne, thank you for always wanting more, not only out of myself, but for the team as well, and for the harder, and hardest ground balls that you could ever hit at us on defense. To my athletic trainers, Katie Reynolds and Janae Neal, thank you for keeping me healthy and on the field. You both are truly the unsung heroes. Coach Canner, thank you for the endless off-season hours that you poured into me and the one-liners that kept me on my toes. To my teammates, thank you for all the laughs, memories, life lessons, but more importantly, the best 4 years of my life. And last but certainly not least, my family. Thank you for the endless love and time that you've put into me, no matter how good or bad the outcome. You believed in me more than myself at times. Excuse me. Your unwavering commitment to be at every game, no matter the distance, never went unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you for all the sacrifices you made for me. I'm truly grateful for everything you've given me. Tonight, I share this honor with you, most importantly. Again, congratulations to all inductees and their families, and thank you. Go Dogs.
All right, we're off to a great start. We're going to break for 25 minutes or so for dinner. Everyone enjoy the meal, and we'll be back for the remainder of the program. Okay, presenting our next inductee, Liam Paddock, is UMBC's current head men's soccer coach, Anthony Adams. Coach Adams earned 4 letters for UMBC from 1992 through 1995. He was a starter in the backfield his final 3 seasons. He took over the reins of the Retrievers as a head coach in 2023 after 26 seasons as a highly successful assistant coach at his alma mater, UMBC. Adams led UMBC to a 7-4-5 record in his first season last year, and the Retrievers went 3-1-3 in the ultra-competitive America East Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Adams.
Before I begin this evening, I just want to acknowledge Dave Ganzel and Seth Nagel for keeping this show on the road, and also there's countless other people that have made this a great event tonight. So let's give them a hand. I was actually worried I was going to have to put on my glasses, but I can still see my phone, so I'm okay. Good evening. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing men's soccer alum Liam Paddock. It was a winter of 2008 in England, freezing cold, frozen grass pitch, and I'm out there watching like 100 kids and trying to come home with a center back that we can put right into the lineup. So when you're out there watching kids, you're freezing, it's raining, okay, worst conditions possible, but Liam to me stood out right away. His presence, his communication, and his leadership stood out right away. I wrote it in my notes. This guy's a leader. He's a pure leader. You could see guys he didn't even know were following him at this big showcase. On top of that, Liam had incredible hair. You can see the picture. That's probably on a calm day after a 90-minute performance. But he had all sorts of stuff going on in his hair. I think Oasis might have been, I think they went out a few years earlier, but you didn't know. But obviously, I had hair back then, but now I'm a bit jealous, but definitely stood out. After the second day of games, I was one of many schools that wanted to speak with Liam. And the setup was interesting, if you remember, Liam. I think it was like, we were like on the side of a bar. And there's hundreds of kids. It's really crowded, trying to find some time to have a conversation. I did my best at that point to sell him on UMBC. Didn't have an iPad to show him pictures back then. There was a lot of hardcover stuff, but I did my best. Shortly after, when I got home, Liam called me, and to my delight, he committed to UMBC. We had clearly, in a short time, built a strong bond of trust and honesty, which is really hard to do, considering I'm here and he's in another country. He trusted me so much that very spring, he flew over with his father, Steve, just to make sure I wasn't lying about UMBC, and he had to see it for himself. Like most guys from England, preseason started, and Liam was trying to get used to the heat. Okay, and we all know there's hot Baltimore summers. Typically, Coach Pete would love to have the returners play the new guys on day one, just to see what we had. And I can tell you on that day, after about 30 minutes, the returners were beating the new guys 6-0. So at that point, Coach Caringi and I were a little concerned that our highly touted freshman class, we might have missed on that one. However, over time, like anything else, they continued to develop and got better and better as the season went on. Liam may have been one of the most thorough players I've ever coached. He was absolutely determined, and I would say obsessed, with becoming the best version of himself, both on and off the field. There was one thing initially that caught me off guard, and this may have been before the time of documenting everything but this was my recollection of the conversation. I called Liam in after a couple weeks, like we do with a lot of freshmen, just to check on him. Have a chat, catch up, talk about soccer, talk about life. As soon as I started talking, Liam pulled out what I think was a journal and started writing and taking notes on the meeting. He was taking points down that I had talked about, some things that we had discussed in soccer, different points, tactics, and he was taking notes. For the next 4 years, every time we met, Liam took notes. And looking back on it, it was his way of thinking about what we chatted, our conversations, in order to make himself better, and more importantly, make the team better. And then how to put that into action, which if you know Liam, that's what he's all about. Those are qualities that made him unique and special. His freshman year in 2009, it's like 15 years ago, geez. 2009, that team started off unexpectedly 9-0 and achieved a national ranking. The team would finish 14-5 and lose a heartbreaker in the America East Final. However, the culture of the program was getting stronger, and Liam was a big part of that. The team that year had no seniors, so the whole group was returning. The following year, with a few key additions, the 2010 team would win the America East Conference and go on to the NCAA tournament. And at the time, no other men's soccer team had won an NCAA tournament game. But this team did in the first round at Princeton, which is still to date one of my greatest memories. Liam was always looking for an edge, a way to take his game to the next level, any way he could help the team. Going into his senior year, there was an alum that was a personal fitness instructor, and he introduced Liam to something called Tabata, which I had never heard of. And of course, Liam became obsessed with it. I'd be lying if I wasn't worried that he was going to be overtraining. But man, did he come back fit for his senior year and ready to go. That team would also win another championship, beat Old Dominion in the first round, and lose a heartbreaker at the University of North Carolina in penalty kicks. I'd be remiss if I didn't say how Liam has exemplified himself as a model student athlete at UMBC. The same work ethic and obsession to improve was also inside the classroom. Liam excelled beyond anything I could ever imagine. Ended up being a 2012 first team academic All-American. He had a chance to go pro in England, but instead accepted a full scholarship for an accelerated master's program right here at UMBC. In closing, Liam had an unbelievable 4-year career at UMBC that was based on hard work, a competitive mentality, and a desire to improve while making others around him better on a daily basis. He helped lay the groundwork for future teams and absolutely left his mark on UMBC soccer. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome Liam Paddock as the newest member of the UMBC Athletics Hall of Fame.
Good evening, folks. Bear with me. I've shown Coach Adams up here, and the way that I decided to deal with the nerves for the speech writing was to leave it until an hour and a half ago. But the only piece of paper I could find was with pink lines, and my handwriting on the best of days is not particularly good, so bear with me, we could land or end up anywhere here. First, thank you so much, Coach, for the kind words. I find it quite hard to take compliments. Anyone who knows any British men know that this is quite an uncomfortable experience. So you can imagine what listening to that introduction and being here tonight feels like. And I'd also love to say thank you to all of you for coming. There's quite a few faces here tonight that I wasn't expecting to see. And yeah, it's really hit me in the last hour or so, sort of the scope of this. So thank you so much for coming out. Before I jump in, if it's all right, I'd love to invite you all to put your hands together and welcome my mum and my dad. They've flown in from England. My mum's not been very well. They don't travel a whole lot, so it means a heck of a lot to have them here. And honestly, for me, obviously I'm the guy up here tonight, but this event really is as much about them as it is about me. We'll come back to them in a little while. What I'm going to do here is spend a bit of time just talking you through three of the things that I think, when I reflect on my time at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and in the US, that I'm most grateful for. And hopefully you'll see in a moment how that kind of ties into all of you and is a thank you for all of you, and then I'll come back to my mum and dad. The first thing I'm most grateful for when I think about my time in the US and at UMBC is just being given the opportunity to be here. I know that probably sounds a little bit cliche, maybe even trite for somebody who's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But in the 12 months before I had the invite to come here, I was delivering pizzas. I was a barista. I'd basically given up on the idea that my sporting talent was going to get me anywhere. So when you think back to what Coach was describing about that first meeting for us, that was massive for me. I had coaches, I had teachers, my parents, myself. We all thought I was pretty good. But in the UK, that's what every kid wants to do, right? They want to be a soccer player. And I just never got a break. And UMBC was the first place that actually had coaching staff, had people who put some faith into me, put some belief into me, and persevered with me. And that was absolutely massive. I tell you, I go back to my hometown where my mum and dad are from in Malvern. I walk into the pub, and you can see the same lads that I left behind in 2009, sat in the same seat, drinking the same drink, telling the same hard luck story that I would have been telling if it wasn't for you guys giving me the opportunity. So I really, really, really don't take that for granted. Second thing I think about when I think about the things I'm most grateful for about my time in the US and at UMBC is, I still haven't figured out how to say this, but basically you humbled me. When I joined in 2009, I was probably 19 going on 30. I'd had a few beers. I'd done a couple of gap years. I probably took myself a little bit too seriously, to tell you the truth. A bit of a chip on my shoulder, and I really felt as though I had it all figured out. And Coach talked about some of my ways. But if I reflect on my time here, if it did anything, and if there was one gift that I really sort of single out, showed me I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about the way the world worked. Hey? At UMBC, I saw people who looked different to me for the first time, who lived in a different way than I did for the first time. And I probably had quite a limited view of the way that the world worked at that time, and that kind of really unraveled. And a lot of people think about their time at university as all the things that they learned. For me, it was really a case of the things that I unlearned. And I can't tell you how much of a gift that's been in my life. And that links very closely then to the third thing that I'm most grateful for when I think about my time in this country, and that's you guys really showed me, I'd say, a new way of living, a new way of being. I think one of the things that Coach tried to sell me on when I first heard about UMBC was family, it was brotherhood. And if you know anything about British blokes, I sort of turned my nose up at that and thought, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Because where we're from, we don't work in that way. We were just talking about a guy called Joe Green, actually. Joe is somebody who was in my recruiting class. And I was in his wedding. I'm the godfather to his son. Hand on my heart, I've never said a nice thing to Joe Green in my whole life. It's just not what we do. We take the piss out of each other. We banter. But I guess what I'm saying is, when I think back about the actual culture of the UMBC soccer team, the community around it, a lot of what you guys are all about, it was just such a difference for me. It was something completely different. I reflect on things like tailgates where people's parents came and joined us, and my God, like the amount of generosity and kindness and care and love that you guys give to each other and gave to me, without knowing who I was from Adam was absolutely phenomenal. And when I think about the way that my life's turning out now and some of the things that are happening for me, all I can say is when I speak to people who've just met me, they say, you're more American than you are English, and that's dead true. You know, I take a lot of pride in where I've come from, the things that you guys taught me, and I'm just so grateful for that. I really am. I'll wrap up here by talking about my actual family. And bear with me, based on what I've just said, this probably isn't going to be the easiest thing either for me to say or for them to listen to. Are you on your phones? Are you videoing me? Jeez. I got 3 thank yous. First one actually is for people who are not here. So I'm sure I've actually heard it from some of the other folks who've been inducted tonight. I think one of the most important things as a kid when you're growing up and you play sports is that you've got cheerleaders around you. When I think about these people, for me it was my grandparents. They followed me up and down the country in all kinds of different sports, and you just need someone that's there. I certainly did. I was a bit of a soft kid. I needed somebody to tell me I was good even when I wasn't, and that's what they did. That was absolutely massive for me. Second person I'd like to thank is you, Dad. Thank you for being a massive part of the same thing, right? I think about the amount of hours you must have spent taking me up, down, all around England, across different sports. Even took me to different countries, to South Africa, to different places. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for you. I also wouldn't sing Cher in karaoke because my dad only had 2 CDs, I think. One was Cher and one was Celine Dion, so I know every word to every song by heart. That's pretty good. I'll give it you later if you get unlucky. But in all seriousness, I think when I think about doors that have opened, one of the cool things about me when I look back on my life and sort of the way things have gone, it's a bit silly really, but doors just keep opening at the right time. I was thinking about why that is, but I think one of the big things is I just try my best to be a kind person. And if anyone's met my old man, Geezer's a big teddy bear. He might be the kindest bloke that's ever existed. So, Dad, thank you for being a role model for that. It's made a massive difference. I really appreciate that. The last thank you's for my mum. I'm only up here because most of the genes in my body are my mum's and not my dad's. You'd agree with that, Dad, right? Mum's no good at soccer. There's absolutely nothing to do with that, but lots of the lovely things that Coach Adam said. If I think about the characteristics of Mum, she's probably the toughest, most determined, most loyal, sometimes terrifying person on a planet. But if I think about the things that made me successful at UMBC and the things that have carried me forward since then in my professional career, it's all of the qualities that are my mum. So thank you both. I love you both. I love you all. Thank you so much for this. This has been really cool. Is that yours?
Okay, unfortunately, our next presenter, UMBC Hall of Famer Denise Shelty Brown, could not be here tonight to induct Casey Kruger Schnabel. Denise is currently the head coach of the Tampa Bay Sun FC and is on the road with her team tonight. However, Denise sent us this short video, so let's hear from UMBC's all-time leading women's scorer, Denise Shelty Brown.
It kills me not to be there tonight for this awesome event, and I just want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame. I was really honored that I was chosen to tell you. I wanted you to know that I think you're the most amazing woman and that you have earned this opportunity. I can't think of a better person, a better soccer player, better mom, better friend to get this honor. And so I want to share a little bit about you with everyone. First, as a soccer player, always the fastest on the team. Incredible crosser of the ball. She led the whole program in assists and then did the most selfless thing a player can do, and that's change positions for the betterment of the team and became our star defender. Gave up a lot of accolades to help our team win, and it was just awesome. I love our goal celebrations. I love singing and dancing with you before the games. I love driving our coach crazy during functional training because we weren't paying attention. I know now how difficult that is on coaches, but I'm glad that you were my distraction. As a person, as a friend at school, I'm going to come back to that because that's my favorite part. As a mom, you're just an incredible mom, which is no surprise. 3 amazing sons, thriving, excelling, and I guess no one's surprised that you were an awesome mom. As a family, you know, you love your family so much, and I know that your dad is smiling down in heaven right now. Hopefully, my dad has his arm around his, and they're just so proud of you. I can't believe our dads would come to games and bark, I guess. Because we were the retrievers, they thought that was okay to throw bones on the field. They were a little crazy, but they were crazy about soccer, and your dad was absolutely crazy about you. I know your mom is your rock, and she has just been such an amazing mom to you and was an amazing mom to me in college. I loved every one of her hugs, and I know your sisters are your best friends. You look up to Christy, and you can never get enough of Colby. And I'm just so grateful that you let me be a part of that family for Easter and golden eggs and just laughing with the girls. And I'm just, you know, so happy. As a friend, incredible memories. I mean, just Fort Lauderdale, sailing on the boat, washing cars. Like, I don't know what we were doing. It was crazy. And you've just always been there for me. You introduced me to Christ, and you've planted so many seeds for Christians everywhere. You're an amazing woman. I know if you were doing this presentation, you'd be crying, but you know I can't even cry in movies. I wish I could cry, but I can't. But I love you so much, and I am so excited for you. You are my kibble, and I am your bits forever. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to call Casey Kruger-Schnabel to the stage. I'm going to go off the script here real quick before Casey comes. I mentioned I'm a UMBC graduate. This is a full circle moment for me. I was a young retriever weekly staff writer, and I chose to do a story on Casey and her sister Christy, probably because I had a crush on both of them. But it was one of my first stories, and I presented them with the actual story tonight. And so this is a great moment for me, so congratulations.
Okay. If for nothing else to hear, I don't get to see Denise that much. So when we met our freshman year, we were instant soulmates, best friends for life. So, but to hear those words, if for nothing else, you can tell it has been so long since I've been at UMBC. That's the best picture they could get. And my family will make fun of me forever. But anyway, so I turned 50 in a week. So this is a really cool birthday present. So I also should be wearing readers, but I haven't crossed over yet. So bear with me if I can't read my words. Okay, so a few months ago when Denise called, she left me a voicemail and she said, call me back. You'll never guess what I have to tell you. So I called her, and I never guessed. I literally never guessed. Like, I guessed and guessed and guessed, and then she finally had to say, all right. So when she told me, I graduated 28 years ago, so not on my radar at all was the Hall of Fame. I haven't thought about my time. Like, Jeremy, you said it, like, a lot of life has happened. I have a lot more life years. So I never would have guessed. I actually literally had to pick myself back up off the floor, but it was really cool. And then we spent the next couple hours on the phone reminiscing about our time, and the amount of memories that I have here for the 4 years that I was here were incredible. So it was really cool. And if for nothing else, it was just a really great 2 hours with one of my best friends in the world. I'm so grateful for my time at UMBC. This experience caused me to think back on that time, because I don't think about it that often because I'm busy. I've got 3 teenage boys. But every moment of my time at UMBC, I received an incredible, top-notch education that I never took for granted, and I will never take for granted all these years later. I made lifelong friends, one that's here tonight. That, to me, that's priceless. And I got to play 4 years of really high-level competitive soccer that also propelled me to a next step to get to play a bit of professional soccer overseas. So every moment of my time here was time well spent, and I don't take that for granted, even though it was a long, long time ago. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to say tonight, I didn't know I was going to be the last speaker, but it's perfect because it's short and sweet. But I immediately knew that I wanted to tell a story. This one particular story, and Denise ruined. And back in the day, her name was Pony, not Denise, so I remember her as Pony. But anyway, she ruined it. She ruined my story, but I'll still tell it because it's on my card, and I can't go off script. So our senior year, as soon as we get back for preseason, we were so excited for our final year. Denise was the goal scorer, and I passed her the ball to receive the assist. She did her job well, and I did my job well. I cannot put, and only other athletes can understand, like, I can't put into words, not for the stats, but I was so excited for that senior year. I looked forward. I had an injury my freshman year, but that senior year I was healthy, and this was going to be the year that we just had a lot of fun. We were the 2 starting strikers, and it was going to be our year. I actually forget because it was that long ago, but I'm going to just I'm pretty sure it was right before the season started. Our starting sweeper, which my youngest son has now said they don't use that word anymore. It's now like a center, what is it? Center defender? Anyway, back then it was called the sweeper. She tore her ACL and was out for the season. So my coach came to me and said, Casey, will you take on this new position for the entire season? And I remember vividly that she gave me the choice. I also remember that I did not want that because it did not align at all with what I thought my senior year was going to be like. And I truly had it all planned out. I was going, anyway, I made the decision that I didn't want to make, but I knew was the right decision. And in hindsight, it was my favorite season of the 4 years. I grew as a player and I grew even more as a person. Fast forward a few months to graduation, I had the opportunity to try out for a team in Germany. And I did not realize at the time, but the position was not for a striker, it was for a defender. And if I had known, well, I wouldn't have never gotten on the plane, but if I had known before that I was trying out as for a defender, I probably wouldn't have even gone. But once I was there, I knew immediately that everything truly does happen for a reason. There was a reason why I was supposed to play the defender my senior year. Fast forward 28 years to now, present time, I'm married to an incredible man, John. I have three incredible teenage boys, Keller, Declan, and Caden, who are my heart. They all three play at a high level in their own chosen sport. I got one soccer player, and I couldn't be more proud and couldn't love more all of the hours that I spend watching you guys play the sport that you love. It's been really cool, though, because I have gone back to that experience my senior year many times, so much so that when I told my middle tonight before we left, what do you think I'm going to talk about? He says, oh, you're going to tell that story about your senior year? Yes! But they have had their own experiences with adversity and struggles, and I will use that story again because it truly is, to me, it has helped shape my life. That a lot of times you do what you need to do over the things that you want to do, and I, with all of my heart, believe that everything happens for a reason. And anyway, so I was excited to be able to share that with you guys tonight. A million stories that I could share about my time at UMBC. I'm so grateful for all of it. And I loved every year that I was here. I got to hear all the other inductees tonight thank people. So now I'm going to thank a few people, and then we'll be done. Mom, it took me becoming a mom to realize how amazing you are. I wish I realized it when I was a kid, but I did not. But as a mom, I just want to thank you. Truly, you have always been my rock, and I could not be more grateful. Yeah. My older sister, Christy, is here. And I got the privilege of playing 2 years with you here. And you'll always be one of my favorite people to play with, and you could easily be up here instead of me. So thank you for being you. I wish we could be doing this together. I love you. And thank you for the committee for digging deep into the files, going way, way back, and finding my profile. It is an honor to be up here. I couldn't be more grateful. And I just want to say thank you.
Okay, we're not quite done yet. The Dr. Charles Woolston Award was established in 1997 by Dr. Brown and presented to someone who displays outstanding service to the athletic department and strives to improve the lives of the student athletes and staff. So we are thrilled to have Dr. Woolston with us this evening to present this prestigious award. Dr. Woolston, will you please stand? Dr. Woolston touched the lives of so many student athletes during his career at UMBC and was and still is a great friend to all of us. So thank you, Dr. Woolston. The 2024 Dr. Charles Woolston Award will be presented tonight to Yari Villanueva, UMBC's first pep band director and creator of the UMBC alma mater. Yari, please stand. At this time, please focus your attention on the screen behind me for a short video about Yari Villanueva.
I'm Yari Villanueva. I'm the former director of the UMBC Pep Band, affectionately known as the Down and Dirty Dog Band. So I came to UMBC by way of my next-door neighbor, Debbie Matthews, who was serving as the secretary to Dr. Charlie Brown. Dr. Brown was looking for someone to lead the band. At that time, UMBC didn't really have a pep band, so he put out a search for one, and his secretary said, well, you know, there's a guy who lives next door to me who's in the Air Force Band right now, and I'll talk to him. Well, Debbie did come over and talk to me, and then I met with Dr. Brown, and I guess the rest is history. We had a terrific first meeting where Dr. Brown explained what he wanted in a pep band, and that was, of course, to build excitement with the audience that attended, to get the school spirit happening, and above all, to make it nice and loud, as he said, lots of brass. Over the years, the Down and Dirty Dog Band has been just a wonderful organization. A lot of fine musicians, students, and student athletes have come through that group. Many who have gone on to some really wonderful careers working in IT. A few of my former students have gone to work at the White House. Some work for government agencies, and others have gone on to pursuing their degrees in physics and psychology and scientific research. Really wonderful careers, and I'm just so happy that they were able to take some time out of their studies and play with the band. The UMBC alma mater came about when Dr. Brown approached me with the idea of having one written for the school. It turned out that UMBC had not had one, and so I accepted the challenge, looked at several different versions of lyrics that had been submitted, reworked those lyrics into the ones that we know today, and then placed it to a piece of music that was written in the mid-19th century. We had it performed for the president of the school, and he absolutely loved it, and it was adopted that year. So I'm really excited to have this little bit of musical legacy at UMBC. One of my most fondest memories was playing the championship game here in 2008 against Hartford. It was just a wonderful sellout crowd. They brought their band down also, so we had a great little bit of a competition between bands. And of course, UMBC wound up winning that day, which made it all that much sweeter. But it was just a wonderful day all around for all the student athletes and the musicians, and of course all the spectators who crowded into the rack to see that win. I'm really honored to receive this award, and I would really like to thank everybody from the administration down to the athletic department, and of course all the wonderful student musicians who performed with the band. Really enjoyed my time being here, and I'm honored to have touched the lives of so many great student musicians. 1, 2, 3, go Big Dogs!
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Charles Woolston Award recipient is Yari Villanueva. Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce Karen Woodard, UMBC's Vice President of the Alumni Board, to say a few words. Karen was a 4-year letter winner and captained the Retrievers women's basketball team as a senior, and she was also named UMBC's Outstanding Scholar Athlete for the 1989-90 season. Karen Woodard.
Thank you so much, 8990. Good evening. I am honored to be with you all tonight as a member of the Alumni Board of Directors and a proud women's basketball alum, as we induct this amazing class of Hall of Fame members. As I listen to the accomplishments and the inspiring personal stories of each member of the 2024 class, I felt immense pride as a member of the Retriever family to be connected to such a remarkable group of athletes, those who serve UMBC with distinction. One of my greatest joys from serving on the alumni board are opportunities like this, where I get to marry my athletic department love with my love of UMBC, and the excitement of honoring those who have reached the highest level of achievement on the field and on the court. So congratulations to you all. I also want to acknowledge and thank President Shears Ashby, our Provost Van Dumen, our athletic department led by our brand new athletic director, Tiffany Tucker, the Office of Alumni Engagement and its director, Staniel Odom, for all the work they put in to host this event, and for all they do throughout the year to support not only the athletic alumni, but all UMBC alumni. So on behalf of the Alumni Board, thank you. Let's give them a big hand. And now on behalf of the UMBC Alumni Board of Directors, and we have some members here, raise your hand, Monique, Marion, here with us tonight, and our president, Kevin Yang, it gives me great pleasure to present each inductee with an alumni stole. So as I call your name, please come up front once again, and we're going to take a picture afterwards, so please remain up here. First, Carly Cassidy. Jeremy Blevins. Amanda Feefo. Liam Paddock. And Casey Cooper-Chanel. Congratulations to the class of 2024. Hope you're wearing these clothes with pride. Thank you.
Before we conclude tonight's festivities, we ask that everyone please stand and sing along to Yari Villanueva's beautiful, beautiful UMBC alma mater. As we conclude, I'd like to ask the 2024 class to remain up here to pose for photos, along with any current UMBC Hall of Famers that are here tonight. And anyone else who would like to take some pictures with our Hall of Famers, you're more than welcome. So once again, congratulations to the class of 2024. Thank you all for coming, and have a great night. Thank you.